What is up, everybody? I am NerdRage36, back with another pickups video, but this one's not a whole lot. Similarly with my Fable pickups video, it's only one series. Technically, it's only really one game, but weirdly enough, I actually got a lot to say about it, so honestly, let's just dive right in and I'll talk about it. And that game is Final Fantasy I, the remaster on PSP. Now, why did I decide to pick this up, and why am I making a standalone video just about it? Well, here's the weird thing. I actually owned this game when I was younger, and I didn't like it. I was so confused with this game. Up until that point, the only turn-based series that I was familiar with was Pokemon, and Pokemon is vastly different from other turn-based RPGs out there, so this was a bit jarring, and I was getting lost constantly. I wasn't leveling up enough. I was constantly consulting a walkthrough, and it was a weird type of walkthrough. It was all text, like no visuals whatsoever, which is also why I picked up the strategy guide. This is definitely going to be insanely helpful with this game. But, yeah, I didn't like this game when I was younger. But, so you're probably wondering why I decided to pick it up today. Well, it's a fun story, actually. And this is why I said I had a lot to talk about. So, like I said, I wasn't really huge into turn-based combat, and I was just kind of off the genre for a long time outside of Pokemon. But then one day, I was hanging out with a friend from college, and he had a game with him. Xenosaga 1. And this was insanely interesting. I was already a fan of Xenoblade on the Wii, and Xenoblade X on the Wii U. So I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. And I eventually got my own copy. And here's the thing. Here's what makes this game very special to me. The combat, though turn-based, is really unique. Like, it's based on a combo system. Like, you push the face buttons, like square, triangle, circle, circle, triangle, square, circle, circle, triangle, circle, circle, square, like any combination. And that's how you execute different attacks. And it was a lot more proactive. It was a lot faster than traditional turn-based combat, and I was really, really getting into it. And I'm like, shit, I like this. I actually don't mind that it's turn-based. And so then I had acquired Xenosaga 2. And though it does still do the combo system, like, well, the button combo specifically, it's not quite the same as the first game. It's more like a weird grid system where the combos aren't necessarily for different attacks, but it's to attack your opponent in different quadrants, and that's how you can actually take them out. It's weird, but it's still pretty interesting. It's just not... I still say the best combat in the series was the first game. But then, of course, I needed to finish it out, and so I got Xenosaga 3. If anyone's trying to get this game, you know what a bitch it is, but... And actually, what's funny is I was playing the series in 2017 before Xenoblade 2 came out. I was playing this, like, before that. I was playing it before the people got to see Cosmos and Telos again and realize, oh yeah, I really like those characters. I want to buy the games they're originally from, and then shoot the price up to shit 112 for this game. But by the time I got to Xenosaga 3, the combat was completely different. It was straight up a regular menu-based, turn-based combat system. And I was honestly disappointed because, again, the very first game has one of my favorite turn-based combat systems ever. Like, it's just so interesting this way. I want more... If you can tell me more games that do combo systems in a turn-based setup, please let me know, because I want more games like that. But I'd already been so sucked into the story that I needed to know how it wrapped up. And weirdly enough, even though I was disappointed with the combat in Xenosaga 3, I was able to, like, get through it. I was able to, like, play through the entire thing. I was able to enjoy traditional menu-based turn-based combat. I'm like, huh, that's perplexing. So it was ultimately the entire Xenosaga trilogy just kind of like easing me into traditional turn-based combat. And now I love the genre. In fact, actually, it wasn't even just Xenosaga, because around the same time I was playing Xenosaga, I was playing Golden Sun as well. Like, I was hopping back and forth, and I also got the second game right there. I was playing these two games alongside the Xenosaga trilogy, and these are also incredibly traditional turn-based combat systems. But there's so much more to do in them, as well as like just your typical attack, magic, defend, run. Like, you have the little creatures you can collect, all the items have secondary abilities, and like then like if you arrange the little creatures, like you get extra abilities on top of that. There was just more to do outside of just your standard turn-based combat system. And that also got me really interested. That made me actually understand the combat a lot better. So between Xenosaga and Golden Sun, I finally understood turn-based combat. And that all came to a head in 2018 when I played Octopath. And not only did I finally get turn-based combat outside of Pokemon, but I freaking love this game. This is probably one of, if not my favorite game of 2018. So it was honestly, in order to appreciate turn-based combat, which I was never really super against it because I already liked Pokemon. It was just kind of the jarring leap from Pokemon to Final Fantasy that turned me off the genre. But then, through those games, I had gradually become more and more accustomed to the quirks and the understanding of turn-based combat systems, and now I really like the genre. I played a couple of other turn-based games, like I should have brought it over here, but over on the Dreamcast, I played Skies of Arcadia. That was the game that got me through COVID for at least the first year. That it's like I had nothing else to do after work, so it's like, well, can't go anywhere. Time to play Skies of Arcadia. So this was always a game that I wanted to reacquire, because now that I am more familiar with turn-based combat, I wanted to give it another fair shot. And on top of that, like I know that the strategy guide would definitely help me like find more stuff, like actually understand tactics and how to handle certain boss fights that gave my younger self a lot of trouble. Like, seriously, the amount of times a boss would heal, and it wouldn't even heal like just an arbitrary amount of HP. It would always be 9999 HP, which I don't even think they had that much. It was frustrating. But again, that was back in the day, and who knows? This could be a breeze to me now with the much more experience that I have with turn-based combat and just gaming in general. And again, I've got the strategy guide. But like I said, I always wanted to get that game again and try it out again and like give it a fair shot. But it was never like on my quote-unquote priority list. It was like something like, okay, eventually I'll get it. Like there's a lot more games that I'm interested in that I want to get first and foremost. So why did I decide to pick up Final Fantasy 1 and the strategy guide now? Like, what exactly changed? Well, I found the NES game too. The original. And why did I pick this up? Well, see, again, there's a lot to talk about here. I was at a certain store, and they had little mini player's guide, almost like an instruction manual, but not quite the instruction manual. The overworld map, and the dungeon maps. They had these. And again, because I like gaming from a historical standpoint, I'm like, ooh, that'd be fun to have, especially since it would help me understand the game a lot better. And here's what's even crazier. They did not have it in their system. It was on display for people to buy, but they had no idea what it would be priced at. So when I asked about it, they just looked through their computer and was like, just take it. I got all 3 of these things for free. How can you say no to that? And what's even crazier is right next door, or right down the street from them, another retro game store had the official Nintendo Power Strategy Guide. I got so much of the extra material, stuff that would easily help me through a game, like an old school game like this. And it was like stupid cheap. And so I'm like, oh, I got basically everything else for it. I'm missing the regular instruction manual. I do have the mini player's guide, but yeah, I still need the actual manual. So I'm like, fuck it. I need to get the game to go along with it. Even though, like, this is more or less a collection piece. However, at some point in the future, I do intend on playing this version of the game with all the extra stuff because, like I said, I like gaming from a historical standpoint, and like I've said in so many videos, like, there are certain games that you look at, and even if there are other ways of playing them, there are certain games that you just have to play on original hardware, even if it's just one time. And I feel like that's this. Like, just for the sake of respect, authenticity, and again, I've got some help, and plus, like, I've got my CRT, I've got the chair that I sit on the floor, and like, I feel like it would be like a straight up 90s night playing this on original hardware on a CRT. Like, I'd probably be ordering Pizza Hut that night whenever I decide to actually play through the original version. The reason I say Pizza Hut is because Pizza Hut always makes me think of the 90s, because Domino's makes me think of the 80s. Blame the Goonies for that. But yeah, like, even if I don't play this version of the game for a number of years, it is still really awesome to have all of this stuff to go with it, especially since a good half of it was free. Like, how can you say no to that? Seriously. But it's like, it's really cool to finally have this for the collection and to eventually even attempt to try the original hardware version. But even then, more than likely, I'll be playing the PSP version first and foremost, because you know me, I love the PSP. It's my favorite console, and this is something I really just feel like I need to rectify, because I was not playing this game right. I didn't understand it, and it was probably not the ideal way to start, like, my journey into turn-based RPGs outside of Pokemon. Because, like, again, I understood Pokemon. Pokemon's like an entry-level RPG for a lot of people, but it does not ease you into the rest of the genre very well. So that's not discrediting the Pokemon series as a whole, but it's just one of those, like, if you're going to be getting into turn-based combat, pick a Pokemon and another game. Obviously, like, if you want to play Xenosaga, the third game is stupid expensive, but I would recommend Golden Sun, first and foremost. And if you can actually find Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3, or even just Xenosaga 1, grab that. Like, I know that everyone who plays this is going to want to finish off the trilogy, but if you're trying to just get into the genre of turn-based RPGs, this is honestly a great starting point, if you ask me personally. But yeah, like, so like a Pokemon, Xenosaga, and maybe Golden Sun. But it is good to finally have this as a part of the collection, and I look forward to diving back in and trying to, like, rectify not necessarily a mistake of my past, because it was just I just wasn't ready. I just didn't understand it. But now I fully understand turn-based combat, and I have some extra help here, and I am really looking forward to playing this. I don't know when, but it's great to finally have this. And then, heck, there's also Final Fantasy II and Final Fantasy IV on PSP. I got a lot to look forward to. Yeah, like I said, only one game. Technically only one game. But there was a lot to talk about, and yeah, that was also my history with turn-based combat. It was a bit of a mess, but there's no turning back now. I like turn-based combat, and I want to give Final Fantasy 1 its fair shake. With all that, I am NerdRage36, and I'll see you later.